Hey guys, welcome to Priceless B Movies. You know, in today's age where just about every horror movie is about a demon or a ghost or an exorcism, it is really comforting to know that every now and then, even today, there are people out there who know how to make a really kick-ass slasher movie. Laid to Rest. Laid to Rest stars Bobby Sue Luther as this girl who at the very beginning of the film wakes up in a coffin in a mortuary and has no idea who she is or what's going on. She is also immediately attacked by this character named Chrome Skull, who's basically the slasher of the film, and he's pretty aptly named for the Chrome Skull mask that he wears. But what also makes this guy kind of cool is that he has this camera mounted to his shoulders. He records everything, not just the kills, but he records everything he does just about, which is kind of a nice voyeuristic take on the slasher genre. Not getting too much more into the plot other than that, because from this point forward, the movie, though it does have some twists and turns, is basically a chase movie. The killer is basically just chasing Bobby Sue Luther for the majority of the film. Not gonna lie, this movie does fall prey to some of the trappings of the slasher genre. You know, you have the almost indestructible villain, you have the kind of cliffhanger, well, kind of a cliffhanger, and you know, you do get the whole sense that just what is going on with the logic in this? There's so many things in this movie that if you'd think that if this was really happening and if this guy really looked the way he did and was running around chasing this girl and killing random people on the way to catch up with her, then, you know, this movie wouldn't last very long. But because this is a slasher film, we do just kind of have to suspend disbelief and just go along with it. And if you can do that, there's a lot of fun to be had with Laid to Rest. The violence in this movie is also very brutal. There's a lot of blood. This is a real balls-to-the-wall slasher film, as opposed to some slasher films that came out, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s, like 13 Ghosts or like Urban Legend or even Scream, I think is kind of overrated in that regard. This movie really gets back to the roots of what an 80s slasher film was. No one is safe in this movie, and I love that. I've also heard that there's a sequel to Laid to Rest, which I haven't seen, admittedly. I've only seen like the first 10 or 15 minutes of it, and I haven't gotten any further into the second one just because I think that this first one is good as it is. I don't think there need to be any more of these, but I do think that Laid to Rest is worth a view if you're a fan of the slasher films, especially the older films, such as the first couple of Jason movies. Before they started getting kind of campy and before they started getting kind of silly, this is a much grittier, more serious slasher movie. But if that's your thing, you're definitely going to love this. There's also some fun bit parts from Lena Headey and Richard Lynch and a handful of other people, but nothing that really stands out to me quite the way that a couple films I've reviewed had, where they've cast someone in a small part and it really stands out and you're like, oh hey, it's so cool that they're in this. Nothing quite to that extreme in Laid to Rest, but I do like that the actors at least appear in the film. Gonna give Laid to Rest 3 stars. I think that while I'm starting to get to the point in my life where I haven't been watching kind of newer slasher films, I think that that genre really does need to be reinvented a little bit to regain my interest. That's not to say that Laid to Rest is a bad movie. It's a very good movie. You just have to be aware that it is kind of simplistic and that it doesn't really go anywhere that a lot of movies haven't already gone. It is still a very decent slasher film. So, 3 stars. That's my review of Laid to Rest. I've got one more review that I'm going to record and post today, so keep your eyes open, everybody. And as always, if there's a horror, action, crime, comedy, any movie of any genre that you can think of that is kind of underrated, that maybe not a lot of your friends know about when you bring it up in conversation, you want to hear my opinion of it, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see what I can do about getting a copy of that movie and doing a review for you. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Priceless B movies.